Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Simon and we are the Whales of Wall Street. First time I've been back on the camera inside the home for a while. I lost the cable originally and I've been at the beach most of the other times, as you have seen. So today's topic is about Enjin, ENJIN, and it's ENJ to find it on the exchange on the likes of Binance and a couple of others as well. So Enjin is actually one of my favorite bags, and Steve's as well, and it's very much related around NFTs and gaming, particularly in web and mobile as well. So we're going to go into a bit more detail about what we mean by that. But first of all, what I'm going to do is just to give you a quick overlay of Enjin. I'm going to remove myself so that we can see the rest of this page. So let's go. What I would like to bring to your attention here is the capability of NFTs in general. Of course, non-fungible tokens, massive topic this year, especially as you may have seen, like a lot of celebrities and endorsements going around of things like collecting digital cards, digital assets used in games, like maybe like swords or whatever, and going all the way up to like art. So we've seen art go from multiple Ethereums or thousands of pounds, hundreds of thousands of pounds. I've done a video recently on Decentraland, for example, a big multiverse like game involved with avatars and NFTs in particular. So it's really something that's taking off this year, and certainly something that will be with us for a long time. Everyone loves collecting things. I've said this multiple times in the past when I've gone to like Comic-Con or anything like this. Collectibles are important. I've still got, sounds nerdy, I've still got all my Pokemon cards in the cupboard. I won't give them up for anything. Some are just so rare or just something that's so attached to you, you can't put a value on it. So NFTs have that principle of like general collectibles, but in a digital format that you can potentially take anywhere and everywhere. Multiple games, multiple wallets, exchange for money, buying and selling on marketplaces, etc. So there's no differentiation really in the real world other than this is a digital format, and it's more importantly using blockchain technology, which we'll go into in a bit more detail shortly. So just quick overview on Enjin. So there's over 2 million NFTs have been created and powered by Enjin already, which is absolutely incredible. Over 2.3 million, I think on their website it says, wallets have been created, which we'll go on to in a second as well. It's absolutely phenomenal. Now, the way that the ENJ token works, so Enjin is the company, ENJ is the token. They use a process called like minting. So it's kind of like basically creating the NFT itself. So whether as a developer or whatever is using the ENJ governance aspect of it to melt. They call it melting, and they melt basically into the NFT itself. So let's say you're creating a sword for a game. That melting process will take the ENJ token power into the NFT, taking all that blockchain element of authenticity, who owns it, the credibility, all of those kind of things, the smart contract elements, and melt it into the asset. So if you do go and sell that asset on in another game or another element, that data goes with it as well. But if you cancelled that asset or you sold it or you broke it in a game or something, the melting process means that Enjin can then remove the NFT and put it back into a coin format, so then you can buy other things or create other things with it. It's quite an amazing process really on that aspect. So that's how it kind of works. And of course the NFTs have value in real life as well, because the ENJ coin has. Do you see what I mean? So if the price goes up of Enjin, you're also increasing the price of the NFT itself, as well as having its own residual value in whatever game that you may have it in or asset that you're using it particularly for. And it's not just about games, by the way. I think there's some unbelievable opportunities that how the NFTs and things like that can be used in multiple arenas across the world and across different events, across gaming platforms. Honestly, the possibilities are absolutely endless. It's a really fantastic project, and we're going to go into a bit more detail as we go on. So Other than that, guys, as I said, it's mainly around sort of gaming, and taking those assets anywhere. And the idea around like Ready Player One, where I've mentioned before. So Ready Player One of my favorite films. I always like that idea of and trying to understand how that would work. And of course, blockchain is going to allow this. So where you see, I don't know if you've ever seen it or not, but the character in there, it can buy items in the game and then receive them physically. But more importantly, for in-game assets, he has an avatar, can jump into any game, any world, or anything like that, and take his assets with him in his collectible wallet. They can just throw on the floor and it will just appear. That kind of like Pokemon throw the Pokeball mentality, and a Pokemon like pops up kind of thing. But it's about that principle of an asset being digitalized to the point where you can take it anywhere and everywhere. Imagine like Call of Duty and you're wearing some kind of silly hat, but you can take that hat any game that you are, because it's you as a person, as an individual, and an avatar moving across. And eventually games will become less centralized and more decentralized, in the sense you can jump in and out but be your own character, rather than the characters that are only provided to you in the game. So I know I'm waffling on a bit about gaming here, but it's really important to understand the mechanism of what we're trying to talk about here. So hopefully that's explained that a bit more for you guys. So I'm just going to remove myself again. So all of that aside, of course, the ENJ token is $3.99 all-time high recently. I think it's just tracking over $2 at the moment. So what this allows, the platform of Enjin basically allows the creation of NFTs, which we've gone through already, via the use of applications, games, or the website. There's a wallet that you can download to store your NFTs or ENJ tokens as well. Marketplace for buying and selling the NFTs. So you can kind of already gather the applications that are available for this project already. And there is one other thing here. I know I've got a static web page here, so I'm going to just jump to this thing called Beam. Now I think this is really interesting. So the Beam aspect is basically I think this is awesome, because I do a lot of events through work and everything, right? And I love marketing. Okay, that's what I do. And this actually, I've never really thought about this, but having like NFTs as a QR code, right? Let me just scroll down a bit so we can understand this. So you can basically get developers, or indeed yourself, use this kind of platform to create the QR codes available. And let's say you're at an event, and now we've got the more scanning, because of the world and everything, and the applications on the phone being able to scan, or the cameras do it by themselves now, right? So let's imagine that you're at an event, say Comic-Con, great example. You're walking around and you go to a stand, there's a company that's selling this, that, and the other, but they've created NFTs, say maybe a character or a collectible digital card, and they say, look, if you buy something from us, we'll give you this NFT for free. And all you have to do is buy something, and then you can scan the QR code. You scan the QR code, you get downloaded the leaflets, the information on the company and things like that. And with the QR code, you get the NFT, which you can then download to the wallet. Then you've got it on your wallet. You can either buy it or sell it for the residual value that it's worth, or go and use it in your games. How amazing would that be? Not that how amazing would it be? The fact is, you can do it now with this awesome kind of project that Enjin has. This is fantastic. Now look at these numbers here of what they've already done with campaigns and things. I was just thinking, like, openly from a marketing perspective, like what I do in the real world, as it were, that this is absolutely amazing. And not all events, but it doesn't have to be gaming events. It could be any event that you want. Like any product that you could possibly think of, let's say it's a toothbrush or whatever it is, and you're selling them at events, or you're promoting that new product launch, to take a digital one wherever you are. It's that brand awareness aspect for companies, but just the logic of what you could do with that. Buying and selling the NFT if it's a rare one, or it could be something just unique. And then also taking that with you when games eventually develop more and more on blockchain, to take that into a digital format. It'd be absolutely fantastic, in my opinion. Like you could kit your own virtual home out in Decentraland or something, with all these random things in your house, like you would in the real world, but you've got these things that you've gone around and collected around the world. It's a really cool little concept. Not even a concept, like I said, it's already here. This is absolutely brilliant what they've come up with on these kind of chains. So that kind of covers that bit. I just really had to throw that out there because that's a really unique feature. I've not seen that around any of the other NFT kind of platforms at the moment. So if I've missed any on other chains, please do let me know, because I think it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, of course, you've got like the gaming assets, the coding and the QR codes. You could put leaflets, videos, presentations on there, whatever you want. Absolutely brilliant. So the ENJ token is, of course, I think it's 1 billion supply. So it's used for minting NFTs. And of course, more NFTs that are created on this platform, the more they're obviously going to be used up. So you've got to take that into consideration. And depending on how big or valuable the NFT is, the more potential ENJ is going to be used. So that whole minting process and melting process is very important for the tokenomics of what we're looking at here in terms of supply and demand, in terms of the price points. And as gaming develops, as this chain develops, you're going to see that demand increase a lot more. I promise you. Anything to do with gaming and esports is an absolute winner for sure. So now we've covered that kind of bit. It's really important as well, to just formulate information around other aspects that they do. So there's loads of cool things. We already mentioned the marketplace, the wallet as well, the Beam. JumpNet is essentially about the transactional perspective of it, which kind of interlaces all these offerings together, which is really cool. But recently, Enjin announced basically like a cooperation with Polkadot. Okay, so you may have heard of it or seen it, and it's called Efinity. Okay, so Efinity, it's EFI on the exchange. I think it's available on Gate and Crow, so that's not too bad exchanges to try and obtain some if you're interested. Let's just quickly jump to the Efinity website in a second. Well, let's just have a quick look at the overview here. I won't go into massive detail right now because I've got some notes to go through anyway. But yeah, very much linking up with Polkadot for a number of reasons, really, which we'll go into in a second. But there's loads of things going on the roadmap, and I'm going to explain to you the Efinity perspective as well right now. So they basically collaborate because obviously Ethereum is very expensive for gas fees and transaction fees and things like that. So Enjin needed something like Polkadot that's a lot faster, streamlined, cost effective to operate its governance side of things on its own blockchain to basically power these Enjin tokens and the NFTs in a more appropriate manner. So basically, like I said, using Polkadot for the element of security, the consensus, and the cross-chain interoperability, which we're seeing in effect right now. So using like Web3 functionalities as well, and the ability, because of Efinity being the new blockchain built on Polkadot, reducing the cost, and also being able to compensate developers for all the nodes, the grants, and everything like that. Loads of different cool applications. There's two elements to the Efinity platform as well. One's called a relay chain, which basically Polkadot uses essentially for the sharing and the consensus element, which was mentioned, but also the governance. And then you've got the power chain, which is confirming the transactions when they're secured, making sure that they're approved and everything as well. So it's a really good economic framework that they've got in place here. That's just emphasis on the Efinity power chain. You can go check out the roadmap and the white paper on Efinity if you want to know more. It's absolutely fantastic. And in terms of the tokenomics, that's used for the governance. The way that kind of works really is about utilizing these different pools of opportunities that they have. So it's like community pools where you can get involved with making recommendations and ideas to the platform. You've got the collator pools, so $1,000 per month, which is used towards hardware for the networking element and the nodes, etc. So there's loads of things going on there that the EFI token is used for. So very much around the voting. I think you need to have something like 100,000 EFI tokens bonded in order to be able to get to the next stage of making your case as to what needs changing, what needs developing, what needs improving. So it's really interesting, tokenomics there of how they're doing it. And also some things like hot fixes. So like if there's a problem with some coding or an opportunity there, I think you need like 1 million EFI tokens to be able to promote or suggest an idea and make fixes to it. So you can kind of see already like the big numbers that are involved in trying to obtain the tokens to use it for those applications. And even like I said with the community pools, that's allowing like the general public to be involved in decisions and everything as well, similar to like all the staking portfolios that you get in other governance token elements across the board. You know, like you've got ZIL with GZIL, you've got Vethor for VeChain and Vet. So there's loads of comparisons you can make in that aspect as to how that works and why they were doing that as well. Also used for transaction fees on the chain as well. So that's an important element of it, because of course we mentioned about Ethereum, and most people know about Ethereum being really costly anyway. The Polkadot system and Enjin working together is reducing that cost substantially. So it means that all the people involved in trying to buy and purchase NFTs don't have to worry about in the back of the head, oh god, how much is it going to cost to send to someone or sell to someone or buy something. That's been substantially reduced using this governance element as well. So obviously helping with fees and things like that. So it's really quite amazing, to be honest. Both Enjin and the Efinity platform. I think Efinity is going to take everything to another level. And as I mentioned, check out the roadmap. I think we've ticked off a couple of the things. I think they've done the bridge. I'm not sure. Someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. EFI token is obviously launched. Private public sales, blah, blah, blah. What would be really good, and hopefully Efinity are watching this, is if they could maybe tick these off as they go along. It's a big bugbear of mine. When I'm reading the roadmap, I like to see what's been done, what's been working towards, maybe some time frames and things like that, with some maybe like quarter announcements, like is something going to be done in Q3, Q4, 2022. Because I also think that helps from the investment perspective as well, because you can kind of like plan ahead and go, well, actually, this is going to come out. So you can like anticipate some buy and sell movements on that in good time. So loads going on with that aspect. I think, to be fair, most of this has already been kind of done. But it'd be good, like I say, if Efinity had maybe put some notes on there as well. Hopefully they're watching. I will tag them on Twitter and everything and make sure that they definitely listen and take that feedback on board. Other than that, guys, that hopefully kind of gives you an indication of what Enjin's about, what Efinity's about. Hopefully you are absolutely hyped as much as I am in this project. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's one of our favourite assets, as I've said, in our portfolio. And before we sign off, guys, I'll do a quick run through the charts as well. So here we've got, for example, so we're tracking at literally about 197 at the moment. It's just behind my head if I move. I'll duck down. There we go, 197. We've got that price point at the moment. As I mentioned before, the all-time high for Enjin was like $3.99, which is absolutely phenomenal. In fact, if we look back, look at this. This was incredible. I was getting Enjin way back in January. I was very fortunate to get it under the dollar, around 20 cents. Fair play to those that had it even longer. Congratulations to you guys for seeing that growth, and even now, the growth that we're seeing back into this. So as the platform develops, as Enjin develops and Efinity develops, this price will be fantastic. And not just for the short term, but the long term as well. Really think about long term, how gaming's going, blockchain gaming in particular, and all the other things I mentioned as well. The actual real world mechanism that this kind of technology and opportunity can be used for. So all I will say here is we had a big growth pattern here. Fantastic. Obviously going to be a correction because of the profit taking and perhaps a bit of FOMO profit taking as well, making sure they don't miss out too much. I don't anticipate too much of a drop because the MACD is very positive. The RSI is creeping back down into the mid channel. I do expect that to potentially start kicking back off. So we might see maybe 1 or 2 days of a bit of a retracement. I expect today's one's candle to close off a bit more and then start dipping down and then hit back up again, especially with some more announcements and things like that as time goes on. But yeah, plenty of room in the tank. Weekly, monthly, 3 months, absolutely fantastic. As you can see to that side, look at that. It's as if it's behind me. I could press buttons or something. Really positive methods on weekly, monthly and 3 month and year to date, 1,454% growth. Unbelievable. Obviously the 6 months is in red, but that's because that takes into the previous cycle earlier this year with the big increase and then the big drop down. So you can anticipate in maybe a couple months time that will turn into green and will be hunky-dory. So like I said, all positive on the MACD, good big gap there. Volumes have been fantastic on the buying perspective, absolutely. Not even the selling power. This to me shows good hodlers in the game today. I think they're waiting for bigger prices this year. Some were shouting about $7-10, maybe higher. We'll see about that. I might do that in the next follow-up chart analysis of a potential price prediction, a realistic one. But I believe that people will be holding this long term. There's no doubt about it. As NFTs encourage throughout the next couple of years, it's really fantastic to see this development. I might have to wrap it out there, guys, because I think the camera's majorly out of sync. So it looks like I'm talking really fast and moving my head and stuff in out of sync with the thing. But I guess before I go as well, just to pinpoint to make sure that you guys keep an eye out on their Twitter as well. Loads of really cool updates constantly from them and retweets of actually what I really like is all these different mobile games interacting with Enjin on a daily basis, promoting the wallets that they're doing and the NFTs and the gaming development as well, using the power of Enjin. This is what it's about. If you don't know much about gaming, look at some of my previous videos where I go into a lot of market data. Again, that's part of some of the things that I do in the real world for marketing and esports partnerships and things like that. So let us know what you think. I just destroyed the microphone. I'm having a good day today. Right. And so we'll just wrap that up, guys. Hope you found this informative. Please do subscribe to the channel if you've not done so. Please like this video with a big thumbs up if you found it informative, and let us know in the comments below, are you holding Enjin tokens? What do you think of the project? Are you holding Efinity as well? And let us know everything. Are you excited? What games do you want to see NFTs being applied to via Enjin and the cross-platform mentality as well? Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Let's see you and Enjin and Efinity on the moon. See you in the next one. Take care. I need a haircut.